Hello, my name is Trey King, and I'm the speaker of the speech.
And we'll introduce our audience.
I'm Sammy Ladwig.
I'm Anna Melville.
I'm Alex Schuler.
I'm Clay Bonenkamp.
And I'm Nick Schuler, the cameraman.
Alright, so my speech for today will be over how to pick your instrument. I believe that we have all listened at least one time to the beautiful music of an orchestra. You hear the triumphant trumpets, the beautiful flowing music of the clarinets, and also the roaring tubas. A lot of people enjoy this music, and some people even want to get in on the music themselves. Me personally, I've played in my high school band for 7 years and have dabbled through a load of different instruments. I've played the trombone, the baritone, played in the percussion, and I've also dabbled in some other instruments like the saxophone and oboe. So I have a little bit of experience with all these different instruments. And I would like to inform all of you about how all the different types of instruments that you could pick up today and start practicing and learning how to go through. So first off, we're going to learn about the brass types of instruments. All these brass instruments are normally brass. They're made of metal. They have mouthpieces that use vibrations to cause the noise. And also, the length of the tubing, like seen with the trombone here, causes the note to either be higher or lower compared to how long or short the tubing is. And fingerings on these instruments are also a little bit weird because you have the valves. The trombone doesn't have valves, but the valves just make the instrument longer, just like how the slide would work. And then for our different types of brass that you would probably play, there's only 3 main different types of instruments you would pick from normally. And that would be the trumpet right here, the trombone, and then maybe if your school is, or if you want to, you can pick the tuba. But the trumpet and the trombone are really inexpensive compared to the tuba, which is a very expensive starting instrument. So if you wanted to start with the tuba, a good way to start would be the trombone. And there's other instruments like the euphonium and the flugelhorn and some of these other different instruments, but the trumpet, the trombone, and the tuba are 3 of the main brass instruments that you would want to start with. But now that I've talked about brass, there's also 3 other types of groups that you might want to play. We have the woodwinds. The woodwinds cover a wide variety of different instruments. They have wood, like how the oboe or the clarinet would be, but nowadays they're mostly plastic. We also have the saxophone and the flute, which are also, the saxophone is brass, but the flute is also metal. And they work a little bit in the same way as the brass because they use vibrations. The instruments like the oboe and the clarinet use reeds to cause the vibrations to go through the whole instrument, as well as the flute and the piccolo using the vibrations from the brochure hole to cause the vibrations. There are other instruments like the clarinet is a single reed. Saxophone is also single reed, and when you get more into the instrument family, we can go into the double reed instruments like the oboe and the bassoon. So, other than the woodwinds, there's one other category of instruments that a lot of people like to get into, and that's the percussion. The percussion has many different instruments, from a simple drum to, it's not on here, but pianos are also percussion instruments. All the percussion instruments work in the same way. You either hit or strum them. Like the tambourine, you hit it like this. And the piano as well, you hit it. When you press down on the keys, it causes a hammer to hit down on the strings. And vibrations also work in the same way as the brass and the woodwinds, because when you hit all of these, the vibrations go through and cause music to be heard. So if you were to start in the percussion, normally we'd start on the bells, or the xylophone as this has here. But over time, you can expand out to the instruments like the snare drum or the bass drum, and then into bigger bell sets like the marimba or the xylophone. All these groups have their own different hard, difficult challenges that are like seen when you first enter them, but they're not very that hard to get over. So you don't have to pick any of these instruments, but I believe that it would be a good idea for you to pick up some of these instruments. When I picked up my first instrument back when I was 10 years old, it taught me some very meaningful lessons, like how to be patient with myself and how to do hard work and just have fun with what I'm doing. All these instruments are so able to be learned whenever, at whatever age. Like you can be 8 years old or 7 years old, and you can still choose an instrument to play. So I believe that you guys could now go on and pick an instrument of your own and see how that works out. Thanks.